Hi ladies, welcome to the live training. We're going to work on our hopping on a little early to give people time to hop on. But we're working on our business and our content plans. So hopefully, let's see if we can make us see me and the worksheets. Have you like taped up on my desk, so we'll see how that goes. But go ahead and let me know who's here and where you guys are from. I filled out a finished version already this morning. This is something I'm actually doing with you guys. I had shared in the group that this is something I'm working on in my business, is getting better at content planning. And for you guys who chimed in and said, I'm working on content planning too, I was like, okay, like I've got to share this document that I've made, because I actually made it for me to work on in my business. And I was like, why not share it with you guys if that's helpful? So I have my finished version, but I also have the blank version. So if you don't already have that, I encourage you to print that out so you can actually fill this out. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you here. I encourage you, as I'm talking through these concepts, like actually fill it out. And the great thing about this being printable is you can print as many as you want and you can toss them. I know that when like my paper planners, which I'm not even using paper planner right now, but like when I use paper planners, I get a little paranoid about messing them up. But the nice thing about just printing off a piece of paper like this is you can print as many as you want. You can kind of use it as a scratch copy and you can throw it away. And so that's kind of the freedom of doing it like this, because you can plan and brainstorm, like use this session together. Like we're only going to be on for about half an hour, but use it as a brainstorming session. And hopefully by the end of this half hour, you'll actually have a plan for the next 6 weeks, at least an outline that you can tweak as you go. I'll wait another 3 minutes or so before we get officially started. I was gonna upload for you guys to a slide. I have basically 5 steps that I'm gonna go through with you guys. Like the rough order that I did my content plan. I don't know if maybe I'll just post it generally in the group for you guys to see. But these are the 5 steps that we're going to be going through together. I just posted it as the top post in the group right now. But these are like the 5 steps that I did when I created my plan. Let me see if I can put this up a little bit too. Let me know too in the comments if you guys have any questions as I'm going through this. And no, depending on your phase in your business, it'll be a little different, but I'm going to try to make it applicable to people that are just starting out. Like you can create a plan for your business if you don't even know what your business idea is yet, or if you're where I'm at in my business and you know what your idea is and you know a direction and you have a goal, how do you content plan and plan your business around that? Okay, we'll wait 1 more minute and then we'll get started on the content. Make sure you guys have your calendars printed out. And if you want something to think about while we wait, feel free to think through what do you want to accomplish in the next 6 weeks in your business. And it can be anything. If you have a product or an offer that you're trying to sell, that can definitely be your goal. Like for me, within the next 6 weeks, I'm going to be relaunching, I'm doing a small group coaching program. And so I'm going to be relaunching that program. So that's kind of like the goal that I have in the back of my head. But maybe you don't even have a product or offer yet. And your goal is, I want to figure out what I want to do for my business. Or maybe you don't have an offer, like a current offer you want to put out in your business, but maybe your goal is, I want to build my list. Like I want to build my list of 500 people. So be thinking about the goal. That's going to be step 3. But okay, it's noon. So let's get started. What I want you guys to do, hopefully you have this printed out. If not, you can jot on a piece of paper. I used colors just because I love coloring, and I love, like I was saying, like using this as kind of like a scratch pad and knowing that if I mess it up, I can throw it away. And so mark it up as much as possible and use this not just as like a calendar, but also as like a way to brainstorm. Like give yourself permission to make it messy and creative. So this is what mine looked like at the end. But what I want you guys to do first is write down any major personal commitments or events in your life on it. So for me, like we're doing a visit to San Diego in a week and a half. So like in red there, I wrote down like, okay, we're going to be out of town. And not that I'm not going to be doing things in my business during that time, but I think that's an important first step, is to recognize, hey, like make sure I didn't unplug you guys right now. Like, you guys have a life and you guys have multiple commitments, and so jotting down, maybe for you, Mondays, you're with your kids all day on Mondays, and you know you can't get anything done on, like, maybe you just want to mark that off, but somehow mark the personal commitments you have in your life on your calendar and what that looks like, especially if you're going to be like away for a weekend or out of town. The next one is the same thing, but for business events. And so after you write down, you know, block off any sort of like personal obligations or times you'll be away, write down any major things that are happening in your business in the next 6 weeks. So for me, I wrote down like the blue line up there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I wrote down the last 3 weeks in my group program, so that I kind of had an eye for, okay, I'm going to be finishing up that group program I'm leading. I'm going to plan to do like a week of interviewing entrepreneurs in a few weeks, so I wrote that down. But before you plan out your content, like, I really would love you guys to write down anything major you already have planned in your business. And you guys can chime in with what some examples of that might be. But I want you to make sure that your content is planned around what you already have planned, what's already existing. I have our final group coaching call on one of those days, so I wrote that down. I didn't write down like individual meetings I have or individual coaching I do, but anything that I want to really keep in context. Okay, so you guys already did the first 2 steps. Hopefully you guys are writing those down as you go, but write down in this next 6 weeks, and I did this all on one page because I like to see it all on one view. But once you wrote down any personal events or things that you're doing, and then once you write down any like business events or things to keep in context, we're ready to content and business plan. So in order to do this intentionally and not haphazardly, and making sure our plan and themes are working us towards our goal in our business, I want you guys to think through, what do you want to accomplish in the next 6 weeks? And you can write that at the top or whatever you want. And it can be, like we were saying, as simple as, I want to figure out what I want to do for my business. Like, maybe you don't know what your business is yet, but if you do know what your business is, make sure you have a really focused goal for the next 6 weeks that we can help make sure your content supports. So I was saying, for me, at the end, you know, kind of almost at the end of 6 weeks, I know that I want to launch another program for entrepreneurs. I'm still deciding if it's going to be a group program, a program for women, helping women launch groups or helping them launch their individual businesses. But nevertheless, like, I know, okay, my goal, and I want everything to support me launching that program. Maybe you have an offer. Maybe you have like a one-on-one offer, or maybe you sell Etsy prints and you want to sell 50 prints by the end of that week, and you want everything to support that. Maybe you don't, like we were saying, have an active offer, but maybe you want to grow your list. Maybe you want to build trust with the people that you are following you. Whatever that goal is, I really want you to establish what it is, at least tentatively. Write that goal down. Feel free to chime in too in the comments if you guys know what your 6-week goal is. I'm curious what your guys' 6-week goal is. Okay, so that was step 3. We're like whizzing through these. So once you have your 6-week goal established, then it's time to go week by week. And on the far left column, you'll see here, I left some space that doesn't encapsulate any day. And so that's where I want you guys to either write your theme or your goal. Like, if you don't have a business yet, it'll probably be some sort of goal. But if you do, then it will likely be some themes that you can focus on. And usually the themes will surround, it's around like giving value towards that end goal. Like, for me, I'm going to look at whatever program I decide to launch, I'm probably going to preview some of the content around that. Or if you want to build your list and you look at, your sales funnel, and you look at kind of the path that you bring people on, like what's a little preview or a taste? If you have some sort of offer for them at the end, what are little tastes that you can give in order to get towards that? So I want you guys to just start brainstorming and jotting down what some of those mini goals, or it can be both mini goals or themes that you want to focus on in your business. So a goal is more something that you want to focus on internally, but you may not be sharing that with your audience. A theme is more something that your audience would know about, like that you would share with them. So I want you to start jotting down the mini goals or themes that would support and help you work towards that 6-week-ish goal. Okay, cool. Yay. I'm glad you guys are chiming in. Gaining new clients. Yes. Building your Facebook group. Totally. Launching a webinar. Those are great. And why I like that 6-week element too is because it's like enough time to actually build sustainable results. Like we cannot expect results overnight, but it's also short enough where we're not like, what do I want to accomplish in a year? Like that's so far away, it's almost unmotivating. Versus if you're like, I'm going to launch a webinar in 6 weeks, like that puts a fire under your butt to say, okay, what have I got to do between now and then to make that happen? But the great thing about 6 weeks is I feel like it's doable. Like it's totally doable to sustainably build your webinar and build your audience for your webinar, right? I'm guessing that's what you want to do when you say launching a webinar. And so think through, okay, if I'm like, you can even work backwards. Like, okay, if my goal this week is to really push my webinar, maybe the first week, I'm not even going to talk about my webinar, but with my audience, I'm going to start sharing my webinar concepts and why, if your webinar is on, I don't know, like taking better, maybe you do self-care, and maybe you want to just start highlighting some of those concepts and the importance of it. That way the next week when you reveal, hey, great news, I'm actually doing a free training on this very thing, people are already primed and you've already kind of prepared them well to be receptive to that offer and that solution of a webinar. Okay, and then the next and final step that I want you guys to do once you've had like kind of like a weekly flow is to go down to a daily flow. And what I usually do is I kind of stop at the weekly flow, and then when that Sunday comes, that's kind of my day that I look ahead at the week, and I'm like, I write out the content for my Facebook post, I write out my email. I kind of wait until that week to write actually out the content. But I think it would be great to even jot down if you have an idea of what that will look like in the week. If you have daily themes that you focus on or kind of a flow. Like for me, in my Facebook group, we do daily themes. And so I kind of do the daily themes, but within that bigger theme, like within that bigger weekly theme. But if you don't, like if you're not content planning so much and you're just trying to get to a goal in your business, you could even break that down into action steps. Like if week 2 goal is to, maybe if your 6-week goal is to build your list by not 600. Let's see, what's a doable? Well, I mean, yes, you definitely could. But let's say in the next 6 weeks, I want to build my audience by 200, not just 200 random bodies, but 200 people that are like primed to buy my product and that are high quality leads. Like I want 200 high quality leads on my list by the end of 6 weeks. Then break that down. Like maybe that first week is just planning, but weeks 2 through 6, do the math and divide it out. And how many people every week do you need to get on your list? Like just make it sustainable and doable for yourself. And what I was saying too is on the days, as you're focusing on the days, you can even write down little simple steps. Like maybe in that first week as you're planning, maybe if you don't have an email list, maybe on day 1, your action is to research and compare email providers. And then the next day you want to commit to making a decision and just going forward and, set yourself deadlines, like really commit. This is a great place to give yourself deadlines. And worst case scenario, you can change the deadline. Like this is your life and your business. But I encourage you to really set things in stone as much as you can, because like I was saying, there's nothing stopping you from changing that later on down the line. So, okay, so those were the 5 steps. What questions do you guys have for me? I have a few other resources that I use to content plan and plan in my business that I want to share with you kind of as a bonus. But feel free to ask me questions if you guys got stuck in any of these 5 areas. So remember, the first one was writing down any personal life happenings in the next 6 weeks, business happenings that you already have scheduled, your 6-week goal, writing that down, writing down weekly supporting goals or themes that build up to that, and then a daily flow, like daily action steps that are super tiny and digestible. You can always add more, but make sure that you guys are choosing actions that support your 6-week goal, because I think the thing that I see newbie entrepreneurs do most that's a mistake in their business is they're doing a lot of good things that aren't pushing them towards the direction they want to go. And usually in the beginning of your business, I encourage people to do things that focus on getting clients and getting that income, so you get momentum in your business and you see if you actually like the business before you invest a ton of money into it. Like, do I enjoy doing this? Am I good at doing this? But whatever your 6-week goal is, make sure that your daily actions and your weekly actions are pushing you toward that. And so even if, let's say, I don't know, like right now in my business, eventually I want to be doing Instagram, but I'm not right now. And I'm not doing that pretty intentionally because I'm focusing on other actions that are pushing me towards my goals. And so know that it's okay to let go of doing things that are good things, but are not the best things for you. And this is what this helps you do, is it helps you evaluate, is that something I should be working on? Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's less scary than actually pushing towards my goal, but those are the things you need to intentionally put to rest. Okay, great. Okay, we have a question from Miranda. I had trouble knowing what content to post that is valuable to my viewers to draw them in that are not just promotion. Yeah, great question. So you want to know how to post valuable content that is just promotion. So for me, what I do is whatever my offer is, whatever you're offering your audience, I would break them down, and we're actually going to cover a lot of this next week too, but I would break it down and actually deliver value and actually deliver pieces of what you offer to them for free. Like actually give them free content or free value or free help so that you're proving to them that you can get results. So maybe that's in your freebie. So whatever you do at the end, that final product you sell, you want to give them little pieces of that now. So that's a great way to serve without promotion. And next week, we're going to talk about that because a lot of people have the question, well, how much is too much? Like, are they going to buy my product if I give it to them? And I think it's a balance, but in general, you guys, you really can't give away too much. Because remember, people are buying you. Like, if you're doing like an online service-based business, if you're selling t-shirts in a t-shirt shop, like it's a little bit different. But for most of you, people are buying the experience of working alongside you. And so you really can't give away too much value and help and assistance. Because that's what builds rapport. I don't know if that answers your question or not. As a graphic designer, I'm not sure what type of freebie people will go for. That's a great question. What type of graphic designing do you do? One of my friends who's a website designer, what she does is an awesome freebie that helps people troubleshoot through their business. And I know what some web designers too, right? Because the fear is like, well, if I give you free graphics, are you going to buy graphics from me? But a lot of times when people are starting out, they'll DIY, they'll do it themselves, but then eventually when they have the money, of course they're going to hire someone. And this one web designer, I've like downloaded her free resources before, and when I actually go to hire my website, I'm probably going to go with her because she's helped me out so much. And so I think even if you are selling graphics or selling web design, obviously it's a fine line, but it's like people can find free stuff out there online anyway, so why don't you be the one to provide it for them? Why don't you be the expert? Why don't you be the one that they come to? And so you can even provide some free resources, or like, this is a little Canva tutorial, or just really becoming the expert that people trust when it comes to that. And then, obviously they're not an expert like you are in graphic design. Even though I have put up a basic website, I'm definitely going to be hiring my website out. But in the beginning, I definitely looked for and Googled resources on how to build my own website. As a graphic design, I'm in the same boat as Miranda. Print design in brand and identity. Tell me a little more too about your messaging so do you do branding? Like, do you do branding consulting for people, like helping people come up with their brand? Tell me more. And Tanya, Tanya, that's right. You kind of run like 3 mini businesses too. So whatever it is, are you guys kind of asking about, I'm a little unsure of what you're asking, but maybe you're asking more around like freebies. I guess you said as a graphic designer, I'm not sure what freebie people will go for. And I would really encourage you to keep that abundant mindset like we talked about, and realizing that people, there are free resources out there And so why not be the one to give it to them? Like, why not help them with that, help them with the DIY so that when they're ready to purchase, they'll go through you. Let's see. You know what I would do too is I would look at what other sort of freebies that graphic designers are creating out there, just to see which ones you like and which ones you don't. I know I think one of you said that you're a branding consultant, and I think what you could potentially do is do two ways. You could do like mini sessions around branding to show people a preview of your stuff, but you could also do a video, like ask people, okay, who wants their brand reviewed for free, and then do a video out there of you actually doing your thing and reviewing their brand online and showing them what you can do. Oh, great. You usually create logos, business cards, t-shirt designs, and help them nail down the look they're going for. That's great. This is just an idea, but something I thought through too, is there something small that you could, well, not for like all your cold leads, but for your warmer leads? I wonder if there's something that you could design for them for free to like preview your services, like a smaller version. Mistakes that people, yeah, totally. You can also, exactly, I like that idea, Jordan. You can also do content around, like I was saying, that one person who's a website designer does freebies around, she does a lot of websites for life coaches, and I think one of her freebies is around like the top 5 mistakes that life coaches make with their website. And so that does 2 things, right? It gives them free content, but it also helps them see, yikes, all 5 of these things are wrong, so you could even do content around educating your client on how valuable it is that they're great in their branding, that they're on point with their logo design, right? Because and you're convinced that when they have these things, they're going to be making more money. Like the money they spend with you, they're going to be making back. But you need to really make sure you're convincing them. So sometimes that includes educating our clients. And so I think that educational piece can definitely be part of the content we put out. Okay, I wanted to keep this at 20 minutes, but let me know if you have any last minute questions. Yes, resources. I've been seeing a lot of quizzes lately, and those are great opt-ins. What did someone do? I think Jessie did one around, she's a copywriter, and so she did one around your brand identity. Someone else who's a life coach did one on, what did she do it on? Oh, your leadership style. And I think those can be great freebies. Oh, you're totally fine, Miranda. As many questions as you want. The quizzes are great freebies because it's giving them a result at the end, and that would be a great one around branding. I think that would be super fun. And then in order to get your results, you have to, you provide your email. And then not only does it give you your results, but it's like, I think the leadership one was like, find out what type of leader you are and get an action plan. So maybe it's like, find out what your brand identity is and get an action plan. And then of course in that you can promote or even give samples. Like maybe there's like, I don't know, shabby chic, or like, obviously I'm not a brand designer, but all the different types of brand identities that someone could have. And then you could even, in their individual, whatever brand idea they come up with, put samples of your work that are of that brand that is similar to the style they got or something. Anyway, those are just ideas. Okay, how are you creating this live video? Is there a link? Yeah, so all you do on live video is when you're gonna create a post, instead of writing photo, you click the live video link and boom, you're live. That's how it goes. Well, thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I really have loved this group and love seeing you guys interact, and feel free to post questions. I would love if you guys are bold and brave for you guys to post these in the group. I'd love to see what you've done. I'd love to see your color. And also just as an accountability, I know that a lot of people struggle with doing stuff like this because subconsciously, what is this? This is committing. Like once you have a plan, you guys, guess what's next? You have to do it. And that is intimidating, right? Like that's scary and overwhelming, and it's like the mindset thing, right? And I think that also, a lot of people don't create offers in their business because of that same thing. Like once you have an offer and once you have a price tag, what's next? You put yourself out there and sell, and that's scary as heck. So scary. And so what's the best way to get over that? Well, talk it out, journal, blah, 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 but also do it. Like, just do it. And that doesn't mean you have to actually implement it yet, but what I do need you to do today, if you're watching this live stream, I want you to, in the privacy of your home, write down a content plan. And if you feel brave, share it with me. And then later you can get up the courage to implement it. Like, just give yourself permission to, okay, or if you guys don't have offers, do this with your offer too. Okay, maybe I'm not going to publish my offer, but Anna told me to, and I'm going to write down my offer. I'm going to bullet point a price. Like, I'm just going to write down a number. There it is. And it's not going anywhere, but at least it's out there. And then you're at the point of, okay, am I going to be brave enough to put it out there in the world? But don't put that on yourself right now. Right now, all I want you to do is, in the privacy of your own space, give yourself permission to dream and brainstorm what it looks like to actually put this out in the world. So I know this is hard, but I'm really, really proud of you. And feel free to post if you need more help. Okay, hope you guys have a great day.